Does the black woman have, when dating a black man, have a low key, subtle, sort of competitive nature with her men? Um, a while back in a previous relationship, um, I dropped one job, move on to another, and just a few months in, the guy who was he was a lead on our shift, and he decides to quit his job for whatever reason, which he was not qualified to work it anyways. But it is what it is. So he quits, and they offer me the position, and it would have been a 30% pay increase. Now peep this. I bring this information to my girlfriend at the time, and when I tell her this is the first thing she does. She drops her head, right, and she begins to sort of pout. She stick her bottom lip out, and she's like, "You're gonna be making more money than I do." She starts complaining. She's like, "You're gonna make more money than I do." Like, I didn't say anything. I was kind of baffled when I heard that. That's what she says though. "You're gonna make more money than I do." Now, fast forward, or better yet, what she began to do, at the time she was working part-time. What she began to do immediately, once I gave her that news, she starts to pick up extra hours at work. It was already killing her, but she started going extra hard, trying, basically killing herself, trying to compete with me. Don't understand this shit. It was ridiculous. But this is what she did. And eventually, because they were flirting with it for a while. Certain things transpired. I quit the job. So, eventually she stopped doing it. She stopped doing, all the extra hours and all like that. And eventually, I pick up another job. All right, now peep this. This job, I walk right in, receiving the exact same pay that the last job was flirting or teasing me with. So, and I'm excited about it. I don't know why I thought she would be also excited, seeing what she said the previous time, but it's my woman at the time. So I bring it to her. I'm like, "Yo, they're offering me this. This is how much they're offering me." And what she does the same thing. Why would she do this? She does the same thing. She drops her head. She pokes her bottom lip out. The same exact animation. She had it all down pat. That's how I know the shit was genuine. She genuinely did not like this. The fact that I was, pulling myself together financially. And she drops her head and pokes her lips out. She's like, "But you get paid more than I do. You make more money than I do now." She says that a few times. And she begins to work full-time hours again at her job. Once again, trying to compete with me, right? Basically what it was. And not only did she do that, but she began to look for a second job. So she came from part-time. When she figures out what I'm getting paid, now she goes to full-time. Not only does she go to full-time, but she's trying to find a second job. Not only was she trying to find a second job, she was trying to get in a part-time position where I was working at. All because what? She did not like the fact that I was making more money than she was. Now, seeing the hypergamous nature of women, which is all good. That's a natural element of female nature, hypergamy. Seeing the hypergamous nature of women, why in the fuck would any woman want to be with a man who's making less money than she's making? Does that make sense? What is it? What's swimming around in the consciousness, in the psyche of the black female that makes her want to outdo her own man? I notice for most black women, peep this, most of the time they will not be with another man, a black man specifically, unless she had some sort of an edge over him, and unless he has some sort of extreme flaw in some area. Now that could be financially. It could be financially, like what we're talking about right now. It could be financially, because what? They look at that and they say, okay, I have a greater deal of actual power in this relationship. I have more control. I make more money. I'm above him because of that. Or it could be looks. I've had many women actually admit they would not deal with a dude if he was too attractive, if he was too cute, too handsome. All right, because what? He has more women at his disposal. All right, things like this, it puts more pressure on her to be a decent woman. Intellectually, some women, they prefer to be with dudes who are dumber, I guess, who are not as intelligent, or so they want an intellectual edge, or sometimes it's an emotional edge. Whatever it may be, what they're doing, once again, they are avoiding the pressure of being with a decent guy, a dude who is balanced, a dude who has a certain amount of income or wealth. Now, obviously, on a higher end, right? Of course, any chick is gonna be with a dude who is filthy rich, but they're not going, because they don't mind compromising themselves for someone like that, but they're not gonna compromise themselves for a dude that got his shit together, that's making more than what she is. A lot of women, not all, but that was an eye opener when she told me that. I mean, when she reacted that way. She complained that I was making more money than she did. She complained the first time just off the idea that I might possibly be making more money than she was. Think about that. One more thing. Here's some crazy shit. My mother once told me. She said, this is what my mother told me. She was like, when I was younger, I did not want the kind of guy. This is what she said. She did not want the type of man who had his shit together, because she wanted to be the one who was running shit. That's what my mother told me. And I'm like, wow. I didn't even respond when she said it. A lot of times, women, people in general, but I noticed this especially with women, they unwillingly, inadvertently open their mouth and say something, or they have a moment of clarity where they give you a clear understanding of what they're thinking and their true mentality. For the most part, they keep that shit tucked in, but they all of them, they have these moments. I don't care how she acts, how